All right, good morning, my girlfriends. We're starting our Pilates class this morning with a bit of mobility for the spine, and then we're going to move into some core work, glute work, and a little bit of arms to finish off. Let me know if you need to change anything or if you're not comfortable, and I'll always build up from like an easier option towards a harder option. So you can always go back to the easier version if you're feeling like it's too challenging. We've got our 500-gram tins. Mine are actually 400 grams. Going a little bit easy on myself. But we'll have them just nearby and we'll take them for one of our second exercises. So have a lay down on your back. Pop your feet out about as wide as your mat. And then once you're there, open your arms out to the sides. You're going to have your palms facing the ceiling. And then we're going to rock your knees to the right and feel your left foot come towards your right ankle. Feel that sort of stretching your left hip a bit. Come back through the middle and then bring your knees over to the left and feel your right knee come towards your left ankle. And then back to the ceiling. We'll do that one more time to each side, just opening up. Make sure that your left shoulder isn't lifting at the moment. And then back through the middle, over to the left, and make sure your right shoulder isn't lifting. Back to the middle. And now I'm going to get you to bring your right leg up to tabletop position, and then your left leg as well. And then we're going to rock the legs over to the right again, and you'll feel a bit of a deeper stretch. Don't let that left shoulder lift. Good. Now use your stomach muscles, bring your legs back to the middle, and then rock your legs to the left, and don't let that right shoulder lift. Back to the middle. Now, if you're not comfortable with your legs up like this, you can pop them back down on the ground. Keep going side to side here, and try and feel like you're connecting your ribs towards your hips here. So as you pull your knees back to the middle, it's your stomach muscles doing the work. When your legs rock to the side, feel the opposite hip lifting. Back to the middle. Now hold here with your legs in tabletop, and I want everyone to place their hands on their belly just for a moment. So if you can feel your hip bones, I want you to imagine like you're trying to slide your hips towards each other. So you're feeling like you're connecting between the hip bones, but then also that your ribs are sliding down towards your hips. We're going to take the hands to the ceiling now, and then turn this into more of an abdominal exercise. So feeling that your tummy is nice and firm, rock your legs to the right, but we're not going to go as far because you'll feel that you'll fall if you go any further. Come back to the middle. Rock your legs to the left. Good, only as far as you can without lifting that right shoulder. Back to the middle. Keep going side to side here. See how far you can go before your body feels like it's going to topple to the side. Using the stomach muscles to control this. If you want to put your arms back down, you can. And if you want to put your feet back down, you can. We're going to go side to side one more time. Keeping those knees glued together. And then come back to the middle. We're going to make this a little bit more challenging. So let's rock the knees to the right, pause, straighten your legs, point your feet towards the ceiling. Pause, bring your feet back to the center, and then bend the knees. Well done. Let's rock to the left, pause there, straighten your legs towards the ceiling, rock your legs back to the middle, and bend. Let's keep going. And remember, you can always move back to the previous exercise if you're starting to find one too challenging. And left. Try and exhale on the effort. So you'd exhale as you straighten your legs and sweep them back to the middle, and then take your breath in as your legs bend. Off to the right, and straighten, and then squeeze as you pull your legs back to the middle. We're going one more time to the left, and then we've got one more option to progress here. Coming back to the center, bend your knees, place your hands behind your head. Rock your legs to the right, pause here. Now this is not for you, Katie, so you can just continue with the leg extensions. And everybody else, we're going to curl up, lifting the chest, aiming the gaze over the left hip, and then lie back down. We're here for 8. Let's exhale as we curl up. 7. Feel like your right rib is coming towards your left hip here. Really get that crossover working. That's it. So your weight should be resting on your right hip this time. Left hip is lifted. We've got 4 more here. 3. That's it. If you want to make this harder for your last two, straighten your legs. 2, 1 more. Let's hold it at the top. Reach your hands long over that left hip, and we pulse here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands back, knees bend, come to the middle. If you need to put your feet down right now, you can. Otherwise, let's go straight to the other side. Rock to the left, hold here. When you're ready, exhale, curl forwards. This time we're gazing over the right hip. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So options, if you want to make this a little easier, would be to pop your feet down on the ground like this and curl up towards that right hip. Or just to move back to the twists and not do the chest lift at all. Good. We've got 4 more. Let's exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This time bringing the left rib towards the right hip. And for our last 2, let's straighten those legs if you want. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last one, hold, reach the arms long and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the middle, hug your knees to your chest, rock side to side. Well done, everybody. So we're going to give our tummy a little bit of a break and move on to some bridging. So can you grab your tins and place 1 in each hand? Lie on your back. And we're just going to take a moment to work through what neutral spine is so that you know for the following exercises. So if you find your pelvis, rest the heels of your hands on your hip bones and then bring your fingertips towards each other, just over your pubic bone. And then your thumbs should be touching just below your belly button. So you've made a triangle out of your hands. That triangle should be nice and flat when you're in neutral. So let's have a go at a pelvic tilt. If you exhale, tuck your pelvis under, feel your fingertips lift and your thumbs lower, and you'll feel that your pubic bone comes towards your belly button. And then if we go the other way, as we inhale, arching your back, feel your fingertips lower and your thumbs lift. Let's do a couple more of these. Exhale, tilt, and then inhale, arch. And then one more time, tuck under, and then find where that triangle is flat. So it may not be where you naturally rest, but we want that neutral position. There should be enough space under your lower back to fit a little blueberry under there, but nothing more. Then bring your hands to your ribs. Take a big breath in and feel the ribs expand. And then as you breathe out, feel that your ribs come towards each other. We want the ribs to stay pretty flat with most of these exercises so that your abdominals are in a good position to contract. So grab your chins, hands are by your sides. We're going to tuck that pelvis under, roll your hip bones in towards your belly, pubic bone towards your belly button, and now continue to roll your hips up off the mat. As your hips raise, just make sure your ribs haven't raised. So you want to feel like your ribs and hips are coming towards each other at the top of that movement. And then we're going to roll the spine back down, one bone at a time. And you're really tucking that pelvis under so that the last part of your spine to touch the mat is your tailbone. Let's inhale at the bottom, exhale, tuck the pelvis under. Imagine that your spine was velcroed to the mat and you're peeling your spine up off the mat, one bone at a time. Inhale at the top, and then exhale to roll back down. We'll do 2 more like this and then we'll get our arms involved. So we exhale, roll the hips backwards, pull through your abdominals and squeeze up through your buttock muscles so that they're both doing a bit of work here. And down, and one more time. And we're going to hold the next one. So really squeeze through the buttock muscles, pull the pelvis in, hold it at the top, raise your hands to shoulder level. So from here, we're going to open the arms wide and then bring them back to the ceiling. We're holding our bridge for 8 arm openings. 7, that's it. We inhale to open the arms, exhale to close them. Just keep checking that your hips are raised, but your ribs are heavy. So if you're flaring your ribs outwards, you're probably using your back. Whereas if your ribs are sinking down and your bottom's tucking in, you'll be using your glutes. And we really want this to be in the legs. Good. 2 more of these arms. And 1 more. We'll bring the hands towards the ceiling and hold. We're going one arm over the head, the other one down by the side, and then back to the ceiling. Exhale as you lower the arms. up and down. Inhale as you bring them back to the ceiling. Let's go for another 4. Keep squeezing those buttock muscles. We're doing quite a long hold here. 3, good. 2 more here. Try and keep those collarbones really broad. So you want to feel that your shoulder blades are resting on the floor. Back to the middle and hold. Now we're taking both arms overhead together. Exhale overhead. Inhale to the ceiling. Squeezing those buttock muscles. Don't let the hips drop. 7 more of these. 6 to go. Exhale overhead so the ribs don't flare. Inhale back to the ceiling. 4. Tuck your bottom in, lift it up a little higher. Make sure you're pulling that pubic bone towards your belly button. 3. 2 more here. And 1 last time. And then let's all meet with our hands above our chests. Hold here. Lower your hips halfway down. Squeeze them back up. Inhale as you lower them down. Exhale as you squeeze them up. Get a sense that you almost untuck your tailbone on the way down and then you tuck it back up on the way up. We're going to do 5 more here, and then you can keep going with these double leg dips if you would like to progress. We're going to go into some single leg ones. 3, 2, 1 more time. Lift up. Let's hold. We'll meet at the top of that bridge. Squeeze your left buttock really firmly if you're moving on to the singles. Don't let your hips twist. Raise that right leg to tabletop. Holding here. Let's dip for 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. Right foot down. Reset, re-square everything. Squeeze that right glute. Try not to let anything move. Lift the left foot to tabletop. And let's go for 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Left foot goes down. Reset. And then we roll down 1 bone at a time, coming nice and slow, and rest. Well done. Arms should be on. Now we're going to roll onto our sides. So Tins can go to the side for a moment. We will use them again shortly. We're going to keep going on those glutes. So lay down on your side. This one, again, is safe for everyone. Put your arm under your ear. You can either bend the elbow or you can have it out straight, whatever feels comfortable for you. Now, with your hips, when you're on your side, I don't know if you can see underneath me, but there should be a gap under your waist. So put your hand on your hip and then push it away from your ribs. And that will make a bit of length in your top waist, and it will create that space under your bottom waist so that your hips are stacked. If you're letting your hip sink in, you're probably going to use your back muscles, and we want to really use the glutes instead of that. The other thing is to not let your hips roll backwards. So I want you to really use your hand to hold your pelvis where it is and not let it move. Let's stretch that top leg out nice and long. Again, this is a bit of a long set, so if at any point you need to rest, please do. Let's start by pulsing that foot up and down. As the leg lifts, just be a little bit mindful that your waist isn't shrinking. So the leg's lifting up and down, but we're not moving through the waist. It's quite a small movement. Let's go for another 10. 8, good. Keep pushing the hip away from the ribs. The other thing is the ribs shouldn't be flaring, so keep them drawing in. Use your stomach muscles a little bit more here. Hold still. We're waving the foot forwards to about 45 degrees and then sweeping it back. I'll get you to point your toes on the way forwards and then flex your foot on the way back. Imagine like your foot is a paintbrush and you're painting the wall behind you. Inhale on the way forward, exhale on the way back. Every time your leg comes back in line with your hip, stretch it away from you a little bit longer. Kind of like you're pulling your hip out of its socket a little bit. Good, let's go for another 5 here. So we want to be feeling this in the top leg. Try and keep your bottom leg really relaxed and make sure your bottom leg's a little bit bent so it's supporting you. Last 2. And 1 more. Sweep back, hold. Tap the floor behind you. Good, lift your leg up. Tap the floor in front of you. We're drawing little semicircles. Tap and lift and tap and lift. If you turn your toes down towards the floor, you'll feel that work a little bit harder into your hip rotators. If you keep your foot flat, you'll feel a slightly different burn. You can experiment with a little bit of both here. Let's go for another 5 taps, forwards, back, 4. Good. Remember, we're stretching really long. 3. Every time your leg comes back to the middle, stretch it out. 2. Tap the front for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap the back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's meet in the middle. Stretch a little longer. Flatten your foot as if you're standing up on the ground. And now little circles about the size of an apple or an orange. Think of drawing with your heel. Let's go for 8, 7, 6. Left glute should be working. 3, 2, 1. Back the other way. 8, 7, 6. Stretch it a little bit longer. This is the last one. 2, 1. Rest. Give it a good rub. Well done. Bring your foot forward in front of you and then push your knee away from you and just stretch that hip. That's good. That's a good little warm up for that glute. All right. Now we're going to go into a side plank. And again, this is safe for everyone. All the baby mamas can do this. So let's come onto the elbow. Knees are bent. We're going to do one test run before we do the proper exercise, because side planks are really dependent on where you've set your body up. So with your knees bent, make sure they're not too far in front of you. So you want your feet just slightly behind your hips. And then your knees should be quite bent, so the feet are like directly behind the knees. And then on your elbow, it's going to be just a little bit further away from you than the shoulder, so don't have it right tucked underneath. All right, so we're going to push up first through the elbow to lift your chest away from the ground. So already a little bit active through the underside of that shoulder. And then press through the knees and the elbow to lift the hips off the ground. Good. Hold for a second and then lower yourself back down. Now, if you feel like you needed to adjust anything, please do. And then we're going to lift again. So we're lifting through the side waist and hold. We're going to stretch that top leg out and hold. And then we're going to reach the right arm up, the left arm up to the ceiling. Hold here. Little pulses through that top leg. Push through the shoulder. Make sure you're nice and strong. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. We're going to do 2 more sets here. So we're going to lift up and do some circles. Let's press through the elbow, press through the hips, lift up. Should be using your bottom glute as well. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Last round is the hardest, but stay with me and then we're done with this left butt. So let's lift up and hold. Stretch it out. This time your arm's going over your head. Now we're going to tap the elbow towards the knee in front and then stretch it out long. Let's tap and stretch. We've got another 8. Stay strong through that waist. 7. Good work. 6. 5. Really reach long every time you go straight. 4. 3. In 2. Let's hold it still. And last 1. Reach it long. Lift a little higher if you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Lie down on your side. Bring your top knee onto the floor in front of you. Open your top arm over and have a stretch. Now from here, you can grab that knee and pull it up towards you or push it further away or wherever it wants to be to get a stretch through the side of that hip. And we'll just hold here. With the arm that's overhead, you could raise it up a little bit or down or bend your elbow. Just see whatever gives you the best stretch through that chest. And just take a few breaths in here. Well done. All right, let's come out of that stretch. Very good. We're going to go straight onto the other side. So let's flip it over and have a lie down. On your other side, we'll set up the same way. So we want that nice big gap under the waist. Head resting on your upper arm if it's comfortable, or else you can bend your elbow. You can prop yourself up if you like as well. I like to be flat. All right, let's grab that hip and push it away from the ribs. Really lengthen the waist so that there's a gap underneath you. Check that your ribs aren't flaring and check that you haven't rolled your hip backwards. Let's stretch that leg out nice and long. The plant's going to get in my way, and hold there. Good. All right, when you're ready, little pulses, up, up, up. These pulses are small. They're so small that nothing moves other than that top leg. Bottom leg's really relaxed, and it's just this hip. Nothing's changing at your waist. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold still. Keep your leg at the same level as your hip. Wave your foot forwards to about 45 degrees, and then sweep it back. Reach it long every time you sweep it back. Let's point the toes on the way forwards. Flex the foot on the way back. Good. Inhale, point, and exhale to flex. Let's keep going. Keep that leg up. Imagine like you're lying on your living room floor and you're just waving your leg across the top of a coffee table. All stays at the one height. Inhale forwards, that's it, exhale back. Use your stomach here to help stabilize you so that there's not too much movement through your spine. That's it, so we can really isolate it to the glutes. Let's go for 5 before we start our little taps. 4, good work. Stretch it out every time it comes back. 3, and 2, and 1 more. Let's sweep it forwards and back, and then tap the floor behind you. Little tap, and lift, and tap in front, and lift. Little semicircles, tap, good, and tap. And remember, we're stretching that leg as far as we can. You can pop your hand under there, check there's still a little gap. And tap. Let's go for 5. Good, stretch it out. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more, and then come back to the middle. Reach as far as you can, flatten your foot like you're standing up on the ground, and we circle for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back the other way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Bend that knee, bring it forwards, pop it on the ground in front of you, and push your knee away to get a nice stretch. They burn. Good. Give it a little rub if it needs it, and then let's come up onto your elbow. So again, we want to start just by setting up elbow a little bit further away from you than the shoulder, and making sure your feet are a little bit back behind you. Push the ground away, lift your chest away from the floor so that you're already active through your underneath waist. Pop your hand on your hip and then push up and away, and just check that everything feels like it's in the right position there, and then we'll lower back down. If you want to readjust anything, now's your chance. And then we're going to lift and stretch. Good. Hand to the ceiling, and let's pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Our next set is our 5 circles each way. So let's lift up again, stretch it out, little circles. 5, 4, really lifting through here. 2, 1, back the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And then we've got our elbow to knee taps just to really finish things off. So let's lift up, stretch overhead this time, tap elbow to knee in front of you, and reach. 9, pushing through that underneath shoulder. 8, good work girls. 7, 6, really go as long as you can. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 more, and then reach and hold for 5. Lift a little higher. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Beautiful. Let's lay down, pop that knee on the floor in front of you, and stretch out. Grab your knee with your opposite hand and pull it up towards you if you need to. Change the angle so that you get that stretch over your hip, and hold. Good work. Take a couple of breaths here. All right. So we're going to come back into some more abdominal work now. Katie, there'll be some stages that I'll get you to just go back to lying flat and going back into some bridges. All right, I'll tell you when that time comes. So you can just go along with us until we get to that point, because there will be a few sit-ups again. Or you can always go back to the level before, whatever feels comfortable. Same goes for everyone else. So we're going onto our backs. With our tins. Good. And once you're there, I'll get you to raise your hands straight up to the ceiling. Engage through your belly. So think about drawing the belly button towards your spine and the hip bones towards each other. And then we'll bring one leg at a time to tabletop. Good. Now, once you're there, if you start to fatigue in the lower abdominals, you can always continue with one foot down or both feet down. So let's go from table shot. We're going to exhale, lower the arms over the head. Good. Inhale, bring the hands back to the ceiling. Exhale, overhead. As your arms go overhead, that's when you want to really resist any flaring of the ribs. Inhale, back. Good. We're doing 3 more with just the arms. Really thinking of connecting between those ribs and hips. 2. And 1 more, and then we'll pause with our hands at the ceiling. We're going to add a leg extension. So as the arms go overhead, one leg stretches away. And then that leg comes back in. And then we swap. Use that exhale as you're lengthening the arms and the legs away from you. As you go long, work a little harder through your lower abdominals to keep everything where it needs to be. That little blueberry under your lower back shouldn't be able to roll away. So if you feel like your back is arching a little as you go long, just put your foot a little higher. So you can reach upwards slightly, and that will take some of the stress off your back. All right, keep going here if you're comfortable. Otherwise, we're going to add a chest lift to make it more challenging. So we go long, and then as the arms come back to the ceiling, the legs come in, we curl forward, reaching either side of the hips. And then we lay down on the exhale. And then we inhale, lift up, curl through, sink the ribs towards the hips. Exhale, lay down. Good, inhale, curl forwards. Well done, let's keep going. We've got 8 more here, and then we've got 1 more chance to progress if you would like it. Good. Really work hard through your lower abdominals. Try not to let them get lazy. Try and really work from that focal point just below your belly button so that you get the most out of this exercise. Good. Last 5. When you're doing your sit-up, really lead with your ribs. So get those ribs to sink, and then the head, neck, and shoulders should just follow. So there shouldn't be a lot of strain in your neck. Feel as though the fold comes from where the ribs sit, and the rest just follows. Last 3. Good. 2 more here. And then our progression, if you would like it, is to stretch both legs out. Of course, you can continue with the single legs if you like. So we curl up and hold, and then it's both legs that are extending as the arms go overhead, and then both legs tuck back in. Like you're working with one big leg now. The knees and feet stay joined together. Let's go for a last 6 here. And then we're going to hold it at the top for some hundreds. Good. 5 more. Get the sense. You want to feel almost like you're moving through water or honey, like the air's thick. So as you're stretching out and in, it's like you're pushing through rather than just floating around. Last 2. Good, and 1 more. We're going to curl up and hold it at the top for some little arm pulses. Lift up, hold it here, pulse the hands up and down. Look just over your kneecaps and make sure you're breathing in and out as you pulse. Make sure you're not squashing your blueberry. You should still be in neutral. Make sure your belly is pulling tight. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Beautiful work. Rock those knees side to side. We're not quite done with our tummy yet. So we're going to take a seat. All right, so sitting up, I want you to just take a moment to find that neutral position in sitting. So with your knees bent and your feet out in front of you at a comfortable position. So if you're feeling a bit tight in the front of the hips, you might even want to go all the way out. I like to be a bit bent, but you probably don't want to be too far in. Just a comfortable position there. Leave the tins somewhere you can grab them. We won't use them just while we set up. So at the moment, you should feel that you're sitting right on top of your sit bones. So those bony parts underneath your bottom. If you reach your hands straight out in front of you, actually pop your hands around your hips, this will be better. And now I want you to do that pelvic tilt we did before, where you tuck the pelvis under and you pull the pubic bone towards the belly button. And if you go far enough, you should feel that your weight moves back onto your tailbone. So you've kind of rolled off the back of your sit bones and you're really actively pulling those ribs towards the hips. All right, so that's the movement we want to get when we do our roll down. It's not a lean, it's a tuck and a rounding, and your spine should move into a really C-shaped curve. All right, let's grab our tins. Hold the hands straight out in front of you. Sit right up tall on your sit bones and broaden your collarbones. Let's tuck the pelvis under, pull pubic bone to belly button, and then continue to roll backwards. Now we only go as far as we can with the feet staying on the ground. So if your feet start to lift, you've gone a little too far. Let's hold here, inhale, and then exhale, roll it back up. Sink the ribs down. Imagine there's like a rope around your belly that you're trying to roll over the top of, and then come all the way up tall. So inhale at the top, we'll exhale, tuck under, roll back, exhale, really squeezing through the belly. Inhale when you can't really go any further, and then exhale, roll it forward, squeezing through the tummy, using the belly to lift. Let's go for another 4 here before we add a little bit of work through our arms. Inhale, exhale, use the tummy, and roll back up. 3 to go. Rolling backwards. That's it. Breathe in. Roll it forwards. 2 more. Every now and then, just take a moment to shake out their neck too. Try not to get too much strain in your neck. 1 more time. Let's roll back. Hold. Hold it here. We're going to open our left arm to the side. Turn to that left side. As you do that, feel your ribs rotate a little. Back to the middle and then open to the right. We inhale to open and then we exhale to close. Check that your knees and your hips aren't moving as we twist. So the rotation comes from your rib cage and your shoulders, but you should still feel like there's even weight on both of your sit bones. 1 more to the right, back to the middle, and then roll all the way up. Well done. We're going to do that again, but this time we'll do 5 to the left and then we'll sit up. So all to one side. Let's tuck the pelvis under, rolling back. Pause it at a comfortable, slightly uncomfortable depth. And then let's open left and middle, just the left. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Feel that right rib coming towards the middle of your belly as you twist. Good. Last 2. And 1 more. Open. Close, roll all the way up, and then we do 5 to the right. Let's go. Exhale, roll down. Pause, inhale, rotate right. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the center. 3 more times, using all the tummy muscles. That's it. Last 2. And 1 more. Back to the middle, roll all the way up. We only have 1 more round to go. And of course, it's our pulses. So let's roll back, hold. Both hands to the left and pulse. 8, 7, 6. Get that right rib squeezing towards the lift hip. 3, 2, 1. Straight over to the right for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit all the way up. Well done, guys. We're going to stretch our tummies out. Let's lie on your belly. Let your legs relax. Press through your palms, lift up and hold. Just hold here for a moment. Aim to have your hips on the floor. They might lift, that's okay. But really squeeze the shoulder blades back and try and draw the shoulders away from the ears. So it's not a sort of shruggy lift. It's a really strong, active lift. Open up through the stomach muscles and hold here. Big breath in, let's lower down and we'll do 1 more. So squeeze between those shoulder blades, press through the palms and lift. Open the chest and open the stomach. Just go as high as you feel comfortable. Good. Well done. I'll get everyone to come onto their hands and knees now. Maddie, this one's for you, the hip flexor stretch. So bring your right foot forward. You're going to come up so that you've got a 90-degree angle at both knees. We're going to reach both hands up to the ceiling as if you're trying to touch the roof, and then point both of your hands off to the right. Feel that opening your left hip. Make sure you're really tucking the pelvis under. So again, like when we started the class with the bridges, you've got your pubic bone pulling up towards your belly button. If you want to grab your left wrist with your right hand and really pull it over, you can, and that will give you a bit of a stretch down that armpit area as well. Hold for a breath, and then point your hands back at the ceiling. And now we're going to turn the body away from the left side. So turn to the right, and again, feel a slightly different opening, a little bit more towards the inside of your thigh, groin area. Big breath in here, and back to the middle. Left hand to the floor, right hand to the ceiling, and just get a bit of a twist. Really try and open your chest. Try and reach that right hand even maybe back behind you a little if you can. Good. Back to the middle, and let's swap. Right knee back, left knee forward. Coming up tall, tucking pubic bone to belly button. Let's reach both hands to the ceiling. And then this time we'll tip to the left. Feel that stretching through the front of the right hip. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and stretch it across a little bit further. Really squeezing that right buttock here and using your left leg to stabilize you. One breath in and out. Hands back to the ceiling. Hold here. Drop the shoulders in case they were shrugging a bit, and then return to the left. Really opening up through that right side. And hold here. Again, same rules as usual. Ribs are in, tailbones in. We're not flaring anywhere. Shoulders are back, collarbones are broad. Come back to the middle, right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling, and open out. And you might get that stretch down through that left side as you do this as well, if you keep your knee really aligned with your ankle. Well done. Okay, let's come out of that stretch. Coming onto both of your knees. We won't be on our knees for too long, as in into this deep position. Grab your tins and hold them in your hands. So we're moving on to our thighs now, a little bit arms, mostly thighs. So in your kneeling position, your shoulders should be directly above your hips, and that's how it's going to stay throughout this whole exercise. So this is similar to the offering if you've done any reformer Pilates. We're going to be sitting up onto the knees, pressing the tins forwards, and then sitting back down onto the heels, bringing the elbows back. What we don't want to see is a big lean and lift, and then a lean and lower. So really keep your body upright for this. All right, when you're ready, let's exhale. Sitting up onto the knees, squeeze through the quads, and then sit back down. Good. Let's exhale on the way up. Good. Inhale on the way down. Exhale, lift. Good. We don't have to do too many of these to feel it working. Good. Let's do 5 more before we have a little halfway hold. And down. 4. And it really helps to think about your abdominals here, because that will help to support you a bit. 2. 1 more. Let's keep the arms long, sit halfway to the heels, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come all the way up. Well done. Keep your arms out in front of you now. Keep your body straight. So all the way from your shoulders to your knees is one very straight line, like a rigid piece of wood. We're going to lean back, and then we're going to sit forward again. And again, this should be all in your quads. Lean back and forward. Only going as far as you feel comfortable before you feel like you might fall. Let's go for another 5. Well done. 4. This is an eccentric quads exercise because they're contracting as they lengthen, so it's a bit harder. 2 and 1 more. And sit all the way up. Well done. Pop your chins down. Step your right foot forward. Curl your left toes under. Coming into a little lunging sequence. So we're starting at 90 at both knees. Pop your hands on your hips to begin with. Press down through your right heel and your left toes and hover your knee off the ground. Hold here, little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Our next set's going to be a little bit different. So you should have felt that really working your thighs. This time we want to work the right glute area. So let's hover that knee and hold. Reach your hands forward. Start to straighten your back leg. Tip over that right leg. Feel the effort move into your right glute. And let's pulse here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Left leg should be really light here. All the effort in your front leg. 1, straighten up and rest. Well done. And then our last set is going to be a little bit of a step up kind of action, a bit like a scooter if you've done your reformer Pilates. So let's hold in that lunge. Let's tip it over, reach forward. And when you're ready, take all the weight into that right leg, bring your left leg forwards, and then tap it back. 9, tap, 8, tap, 7, 6, 5, good work, 4, last 3, 2, 1, come down onto that knee. Well done, we're gonna move into pigeon stretch. So bring that left ankle, the right ankle across towards the left side. Let your right knee come down onto the ground. Press up through your palms. Let's lift up nice and tall through the spine. Should feel that opening up your right hip. Good. Now, if you want to deepen the stretch, you can come onto your forearms and hold there. If you're really bendy, you can go all the way forehead to the floor. But make sure you're comfortable and make sure your hips are square. So if your forehead's on the floor, but you're kind of rolling back, it's not achieving much. You want to be really push that left hip down towards the ground. Got to catch my breath. Well done. Keep holding here. All right, let's press back up onto those palms and hold here for another moment before we come out of that stretch. Press through your left toes, lift yourself up, give that leg a bit of room to come out of that stretch. Well done. We better even things up and do the other side. So let's step the left foot forward. We're definitely getting to the end of class now here, girls. 90 at both knees. So our first lunge is our quads lunge. So press through the left heel and the right toes. Let's hover that knee. And when you're ready, pulse. 9, 8. Really drive through that front knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Our second lunge is more about our left glute. So we hover, and then we reach forward, taking the weight forward onto that left heel. Right leg is nice and light. And we pulse here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to rest. Last set is our scooters. A bit wobbly on this side. And then we get to have our pigeon. So let's hover, press forwards, take the weight right over that left leg, and let's scoot in and tap. 9, 8, 7, really grounding through the left heel. 5, 4, fire, 2, 1, and rest down. Well done. All right, let's bring that left foot across. Come down into a bit of a stretch. Stay a bit taller. Now you might find your hips are a bit different. You might notice that one goes a lot further than the other. That's all right. Just work with whatever you can manage on each side. Don't try and push one. Like this hip for me is a lot stiffer than the other one. So I'm going to stay on my arms up. But you can take it as deep as you like and just hold and breathe. Good. Press back up onto your arms. Come out of that stretch slightly. And then we'll curl the back toes. Lift up. Give yourself some room to come out of your stretch. Well done. Give your legs a little shake. All right, last bit of effort for the class before we unwind and relax. So we are going to do some tricep push-ups. Everyone hates push-ups, and I think if we do them properly, we can really get a lot out of them. So we want to feel it through the backs of our upper arms here. They're going to be really small, but they're going to be really good quality. So if you're on your hands and knees, with your hips over your knees and your hands under your shoulders, you're going to want to walk your hands fairly far forward, and then we bring the weight forward over the hands. So you're in a half plank. Now in your half plank position, what I would like you to do is think of connecting between your ribs and hips. So no arching backs, really pull through the front of the stomach wall, like we've been practicing all class, and really connect between those ribs and hips. Through your shoulders, keep your elbows straight, but just imagine like you're pushing the ground away. So your shoulder blades become a little bit round. So rather than letting the chest sink towards the ground, press away. Shoulder blades are really far apart as they can be. Have your weight on the heels of your hands. So your fingertips are actually fairly light here. All right, now the elbows are going to bend really narrowly. Point them straight back. Try and get them to touch your rib cage. Pause at a point where you feel like you can't go any further, and then press back up. Good up. So let's inhale as we lower really slowly. Elbows stay really tight, and you press through the heels of those hands to push up. We're only going to do 4 more. Bend, that's all I can do. And press. 3 more. Every time you press back up, make sure you push the floor away. So you're really lifting your chest up. 2. Press. 1 more. Press. And come back to child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the floor. Let your elbows relax to the floor as well. Let's make this a really relaxing child's pose. Try not to reach too long with your arms. Take a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to walk our hands across to the left-hand side, moving your chest as well, and just feel a stretch under that right armpit area, down that right side. Keep your tailbone or your sit bones anchoring towards your heels. Walk your hands over to the right now, letting your head move in between them and get that stretch through the left side. And hold here. Come back through the middle. 1 breath in the middle. And then walk yourself up to kneeling. And then we're going to stand up. Standing up on your feet. We're going to come into a roll down. So I want you to bring your chin towards your chest. Let your fingers move down towards your toes. Go as far as you can. You might not touch the floor. That's okay, because we're going to bend into the knees. So I'll get everyone, if you're not touching the floor, just bend your knees a little bit and let your head come even closer to your knees. Let your head relax, shake your head side to side. And then keep your right hand exactly where it is. Should be touching the floor. Straighten your left knee and reach your left hand towards the ceiling. And feel a little bit of everything. Feel the back of your left leg, maybe the side of your left hip. Feel like you're twisting through your spine and opening your chest. Come back through the middle. Bend both knees. Straighten the right leg. Reach the right hand to the ceiling. Same thing. Feel that stretch down the back of the right leg. Really opening wide. Fingers are flat. Reach towards the ceiling. Back to the middle. 1 more to each side. Straighten the left. Reach to the left. Back to the middle, straighten the right, reach to the right. Back to the middle, just give both legs a little shake, pedal it out between the two, and then soften through both of your legs. Push through your heels, use your leg muscles, squeeze through your buttocks, squeeze through your thighs. We're going to roll ourselves back up, but we're really going to push the ground away to roll up. Come all the way up tall. When you get to the top, roll your shoulders backwards 3 times, and then forwards 3 times. And then you're all finished, ladies. Well done. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed that.
Thanks, Han. That was awesome.
That was amazing. Sorry I was so late.
Oh,